Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the relentless heat. 100 million Americans now have heat alerts, and there's a new heat wave. So even the northern plains and Great Lakes that have been so chilly, really below average, not any longer by next week. We'll show you everything. And the rising tensions with North Korea, now threatening to use nuclear weapons. We are live from South Korea. And the couple taking the $10,000 savings challenge. They race each other to see who can do it first, and they'll share their tips this morning. That and so much more right here on GMA.
Well, we have some very good news about our phone bank yesterday. Our KSAT community partners were raising money for Project Men, and we're happy to report we raised a total of $47,000. This is all leading up to Project Men's annual citywide donation drive this weekend. You can drop off any type of medical equipment at the Wonderland of the Americas Mall tomorrow from 9 to 1 p.m. That's be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, check out ksatcommunity.com. Project Men is the oldest, largest licensed nonprofit that accepts and, more importantly, repurposes medical equipment. Well, coming up, we spoke with a teen who's living with juvenile arthritis, how she's managed her biggest challenges since she was 7 years old. And up next, a pint-sized pitcher hoping a nationwide campaign at Major League ballparks helps shine a light on adoption for special needs children. And we've had only one or two very minor incidents that I recall in this last hour or so. We'll talk to Stephen Cavazos and get a look at the rest of your Friday morning commute as we get things underway with heavier traffic at 35 and San Marcos. Right now on GMSA, the road's back open after a chemical spill yesterday out in Converse. Stephen Cavazos is watching the roads if any other traffic trouble pops up. Plus,
North Korea making nuclear threats after a U.S. nuclear submarine docks in the Korean peninsula. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. Details coming up.
77 degrees at 6 o'clock this morning. Mike's giving us a little bit of hope with a tiny bit of rain in the forecast and maybe a digit down in our triple digits, but still triple digits.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. Rise and shine at 6 o'clock on your Friday, July 21st.
Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. Mike, okay, what did we get to yesterday?
103.
And so maybe 102
today is what I'm going for today. And the first 3 days of the week, you know, we had those 3 104s in a row. So did you feel the cool down yesterday, the 103s?
Did we?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yes, totally. Of course.
We'll take anything we can get around here. At least, though, as I've been saying, we do have lower humidity in the afternoon. That's been the one saving grace these past few days. Got some clouds starting off this morning, and we are down actually a couple of notches right now compared to this time yesterday. Temperatures are in the mid-upper 70s, and the humidity now it's still fairly high there at Randolph, Stinson, New Braunfels, Pleasanton, but overall these numbers are down a little bit compared to yesterday, so the heat index readings aren't quite as high as what they were, and we do have a low amount of mold in the atmosphere right now. Throughout the rest of today, we are going to make it up to 91 at noon, and shave off 1 more degree this afternoon. 102 for a high temperature, still obviously well above normal, a good 7 degrees above normal, 6, 7 above normal. We do have some heat advisories still posted for just about all of the area with the exception of the Rio Grande Valley and portions of the hill country. So you still want to take it easy if you're outside, but it'll be slightly more comfortable in the shade. You know, we have been talking about those rain chances this weekend. They do still exist. And still, the advice is don't get too excited about rain chances, but there will be 1 or 2 of them out there. So details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, we had some issues earlier this morning. I just see 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, okay. Mike. Hey, and both hands on the wheel, guys. Thankfully, the problems we spotted earlier have already cleared out, and we are welcoming our 6 a.m. hour with not a lot of trouble out on the roads, but you may see some of these TransGuide cameras. Traffic's picking up just a bit. US 98 Couples is always that spot where we tend to see a lot more of that traffic coming at us in the eastbound lanes. 281 by the airport, if your travels take you there, shouldn't be too bad of a delay. We did have some issues earlier, as I mentioned. We had a crash along I-10 west at Loop 410, as you can see there, that has already cleared out, and it appeared that may have been under the overpass or interchange. So again, better news to report out there. We also had a pretty big closure along Loop 1604 in Converse, where we did have that spill that happened overnight. We'll have more on that story a little bit later on, but according to the Converse Police Department, that has since cleared out. Taking you to our travel times, we are looking at the journey journey from Boerne to be about 24 minutes right here to the Alamo City. Along 281 southbound from Bulverde, it's a 26-minute drive time. And for our neighbors up in New Braunfels, it should be the same along I-35 southbound if you're heading in this early. But there, 37 at Hackberry. We're seeing a lot more traffic out there, so be on the lookout for any incidents. I'll be watching things closely throughout the morning, and I'll have more updates for you coming up a little bit later on. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, a man is dead after a shooting at a Woodspring Suites near I-35 and Eisenhower on the northeast side. San Antonio police say a man and his girlfriend were in the parking lot around 3 this morning when they were approached by someone wearing all black. The person who approached them started to bother them, according to police, and tried to grab the woman. The man intervened, and that's when police say the suspect shot the man, killing him. The suspect took off in a black-colored vehicle. At last check, officers are still searching for him.
A man is in the hospital this morning after he was stabbed just north of downtown. San Antonio police say it happened when a fight broke out just before 11:30 last night on San Pedro and Elmira. A man was stabbed and ran across the street to a QT gas station where he was found by first responders. So far, 3 people have been detained for questioning, and police are still trying to figure out how this all started.
A man's in jail after setting fire inside his apartment, causing major damage. According to arrest records, 32-year-old Jamal King allegedly used a cigarette lighter to light the curtains inside his apartment on fire. Happened Wednesday at the Alcove Apartments in Alamo Heights. King told police he did it because he was angry and frustrated with his living conditions. The fire spread from the curtains to the furniture inside the apartment, but there were no injuries.
New details this morning on cleanup of a chemical spill after parts of East Loop 1604 North were closed overnight. Things should be getting back to normal this morning in Converse. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says lanes opened again around 1 this morning. This was the scene Thursday near Randolph Air Force Base, which lasted for several hours. The southbound lanes at Miramar Lane and northbound lanes on Lower Seguin Road were closed. So far, it's unclear exactly what that chemical was that spilled.
Topping your morning headlines, rising nuclear tensions between the United States and North Korea.
North Korea's defense minister is threatening to use nuclear weapons after an American nuclear-armed submarine docked in South Korea this week.
As ABC's Faith Abube reports, the warning comes as the U.S. works to locate an American soldier who crossed into the North without warning.
This morning, nuclear tensions between the U.S. and North Korea escalating as the U.S. shows its military support for South Korea. The North blasting the U.S. for, quote, reckless military moves after this U.S. nuclear-armed ballistic submarine docked in the Korean peninsula. North Korea's defense minister threatening possible nuclear retaliation.
Rhetoric like that, it's incredibly dangerous. We're not there to instigate.
This is the first time in 4 decades an American nuclear submarine has docked in South Korea. ABC's Martha Raditz boarding the USS Kentucky for an exclusive look.
This is where the missiles will be launched from.
Yes.
The Kentucky is capable of carrying up to 20 nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles, each of them carrying up to a dozen nuclear warheads. The U.S. military says it's a reflection of American security commitments to South Korea as it fights back against North Korean aggression.
Are you worried about the possibility it could backfire?
I am very confident in our own nuclear deterrence.
The nuclear submarine is more than 200 miles south of the DMZ, or the demilitarized zone, the border that divides South and North Korea. This is where the Pentagon says 23-year-old American soldier Travis King intentionally crossed over into North Korea this week without authorization. Since King was taken into custody, U.S. officials say they've been unable to reach North Korean authorities to secure his release.
We want to bring him home. We don't know his condition. We don't know where he's being held. We don't know the status of his health.
And as for the nuclear warnings from North Korea, the Pentagon says the U.S. is committed to peace and security in the Korean peninsula and that the threats only deepen the U.S. cooperation with South Korea. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Other news this morning, U.S. deploying thousands of Marines and additional forces to the Middle East in response to recent Iranian attempts to seize commercial tankers. Earlier this month, the U.S. stopped Iran from seizing 2 tankers in the Gulf of Oman, including one instance in which an Iranian vessel opened fire on a tanker. The Pentagon did not specify which forces would be deployed, but the deployment will likely consist of 3 ships and approximately 2,400 U.S. Marines.
As the U.S. continues to deal with record-breaking heat, a dramatic fire had crews in Phoenix, Arizona dealing with an explosive situation. So take a look at this. A fire breaking out at a propane tank business next to the Phoenix airport. Explosion sent hundreds of propane tanks flying into the air like missiles. Firefighters say some ended up hundreds of yards away from the scene.
We have evidence of propane tanks up to 500 yards past the ground zero where this is actually happening. We have hundreds of these scattered around the area. Absolutely, shrapnel is a concern.
The cause of the fire is under investigation. Meanwhile, over 100 million Americans from California to Florida remain under heat alerts. Miami is expected to see a heat index in the triple digits for the 40th straight day.
Well, this should be interesting. Looking ahead, U.S. lawmakers are preparing to look into claims of a cover-up within the federal government when it comes to UFOs. Next Wednesday, Congress will hear testimony from David Grush, an Air Force veteran who claims the government has a, quote, taxpayer-funded program that recovers and stores crashed alien spacecraft. A military intelligence officer leading the Pentagon task force on UFOs says they're analyzing more than 800 cases dating back decades. Right now, 6:09, 77 degrees.
It's time for the Women's World Cup, and the U.S. national team is ready to take the field tonight in prime time. A preview of their first matchup, that's before 6:30.
And after the break, a pint-sized pitcher hoping a nationwide campaign at Major League ballparks could shine a light on adoption for special needs children.
77 degrees at 6:09. Yes, it's hot. Yes, it's going to be another triple-digit day, but Mike says we're going to be down 1 degree, which is hopeful. And other hopeful news about rain, maybe. He'll explain when we come back.
Welcome back. This morning, the FIFA Women's World Cup is now underway down in New Zealand.
Go girls. The first day of the matches included Australia and New Zealand, but all eyes, of course, on the U.S. women's team, who's going for 3 championships in a row. They'll face Vietnam tonight. If they can win it all again, they will be the first women's or men's team to win 3 straight World Cups.
Vietnam, like you said, is a little bit of a wild card, but they've had some good results recently against some great opponents, so you can't take them for granted. I think that every single opponent we come up against, it's going to be tough. Every single person is qualified for the World Cup, so there's that. I think that they're going to play a different style than we are probably used to, so it's just our ability to adapt.
U.S.-Vietnam match kicks off tonight, 8 p.m. San Antonio time. This morning, an inspiring young pitcher is ready to play ball for a good cause.
This 11-year-old may be pint-sized, but he's packing a punch at major league ballparks across America.
As ABC's Will Gans tells us, the impact of his campaign felt far beyond the baseball diamond.
Cooper Murray is bringing the heat this summer. The pint-sized pitcher taking the mound at a recent Cubs game. The MVP giving us a post-game exclusive.
How's it going, Cooper?
Yeah.
I like your Red Sox shirt.
Oh, yeah.
At just 11 years old, Cooper has already thrown out the first pitch for both the Cubs and the Red Sox. But that's just first base in a grand slam of a plan.
The goal on this is for Coop to be able to throw out the first pitch in every MLB stadium. So there's 30 of them out there. And the goal would be that we help 30 orphan children that have Down syndrome get adopted.
Coop's mission, shining a light on the joy and happiness that can come from adoption.
What is it about Cooper that brings them such joy?
Here's the special thing about this. Is it's not exclusive to Cooper. Coop's super special, but I would say a big part of it is it's the fact that he has Down syndrome, and people with Down syndrome tend to have a little extra love, a little extra ability to love people for who they are and meet them where they're at.
Coop, throwing strikes and inspiring thousands along the way.
How does that make you feel as a dad when you see Cooper step up and just nail it?
Hard not to get emotional seeing it. I just know that every single one of these kids have a song that they're meant to sing. Like it's inside of them and they just need a shot.
Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
Time check 6:16, 77 degrees.
We're going to check in with Stephen Cavazos. Traffic, anything happening?
Not right now, and I'm good with that. I think a lot of people that are waking up will be happy to see what this happening behind me. Quiet roads, traffic getting a little bit busier there. 35 north at Loop 410. Looks like we may start to see a little bit more of that sunrise out there, but I'm not spotting any issues. Again, just heavier traffic as we see that on TransGuide. What we will see a little bit more of course, is the overnight construction throughout the weekend, and more of that construction is going to carry us on until next Monday. So let's talk about what's happening here along 281 and over on the north side of San Antonio. We have the asphalt and striping work that is taking place. This will begin Monday, July 24th, and is going to take us almost to the end of the month, Saturday, July 29th. The work begins at 9 in the morning and should wrap around 3 in the afternoon, alternating lane closures in both directions at Borgfeld Road. Wondering if we can bring up that QR code, because we have a lot of stuff happening in and around the Alamo City, not just today, but throughout the weekend and the rest of the month of July. So just know what to expect before you have to hit the roads. Thankfully, right now, from what I'm seeing on TransGuide, it looks like we have a good quiet start as people are ready to drive off into the weekend.
Into the weekend.
Into the weekend. To go see Barbenheimer.
Go see Barbenheimer. And some people are going to see both. So back to back.
You guys are going to see Oppenheimer this weekend.
Yeah, because that's a 3-hour movie.
Right.
You point at these two, not
You figure with
Barbie.
the trailers, that makes it what, about 3.5 at least. How long is Barbie? Is it like
3.5 hours? I don't think it's 3.5 hours.
No, it's definitely not 3.5. I think it's closer to 2.
But I have some friends that have seen it. They went to the overnight show or the midnight showing, and they said it was the best film they've seen all year.
Wait, Oppenheimer?
Barbie.
Oh, Barbie was like, wait.
I mean, that's what they said.
Team Barbie.
But,
all right. We've seen a lot of pictures of splooting animals. We've seen a lot of pictures of animals in pools. Combine the two.
No.
This guy's got the best idea right there.
2 hours.
You just lie in about, 3-4 inches of water and have somebody bring you something refreshing. We're all set.
Who's a good boy or girl?
Yeah. And we were noticing too, look at that. I mean, just that perfect, it's like the old episode of Star Trek. Remember that? Way, way back when, where one half the face was white, one half was black.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, look, it was a very interesting episode. So, all right, thank you for the KSAT Connect picture, by the way. Some clouds hanging around here this morning like we've had the past few days. Those will be clearing out. Last year at this time, we were already up to 41 days of triple digits. We are at 26 as of yesterday, and 106 the hottest so far. Last year, 107 was the hottest so far. And throughout the rest of last year, throughout the rest of the month of July, except for one day, kept on with the triple-digit temperatures. There was 199 thrown on in there. So we will remain about 15 days behind last year's tally, although we're just looking at triple digits all the way through the end of the month. Again, one may stay at 99 in there, but we're going to continue to rack them up for the next few weeks. 79 this morning at 8 o'clock, then we'll warm up through the 80s all morning long. 91 noon, 102. It was 104 starting off the week. Yesterday, 103. I think we shave another degree off today. Going into tomorrow, this is the small glimmer of hope we have for a couple of showers around here. We're going to be getting into this north to northwesterly flow in the atmosphere. Little disturbance is going to be sliding down in, so some computer models do have 1 or 2 showers, maybe a thunderstorm trying to pop up in the evening hours around dinner time, early evening, and then those will be dying off. Now, again, don't get too excited about this. Probably count them on one hand. That'll be roughly the extent of it. Then going into Sunday, this particular computer model also has that chance for a couple of showers there, and we'll also have the door open slightly for 1 or 2 sea breeze showers to pop up on Sunday, maybe on Monday. And the reason is that high, which is almost on top of us, starts to scooch off to the west a little bit more, and we're going to be getting into this northwesterly flow. That will be tomorrow, and that's what's going to bring in that small chance for some rain. But if you don't get rain, it's just going to be hot. And those rain chances, albeit small, will stick around maybe on Monday, a sea breeze shower or 2, and then we are going to have triple digits through the rest of the week.
Thank you, Mike. We need to get to some late breaking news.
Yeah, Katrina Weber is the scene of a fire. Katrina, what do we know so far?
Well, we know that they have multiple buildings that are on fire. Some of them appear to be boarded up or abandoned. Take a look at what's going on. A lot of activity. Now, you see firefighters, they have been breaking open some of the boards that were on this house. It looks like a house that's for sale, according to the sign there. They were trying to protect this structure as well as at least one other, but there's another one in the backyard, and we can still see some flames there. That building burned to the ground. So firefighters have their hands full trying to keep these flames from spreading to everything nearby. Again, some of these structures right here on this main street on Cypress are boarded up. They appear to be for sale. I'm not sure exactly what it is that burned to the ground, but it seems that that is where the fire started and then quickly spread. By the time firefighters got here, we could hear them talking about having 3 buildings on fire. It doesn't seem as though anyone was living in any of these, but I have not talked to the battalion chief yet to verify exactly what we have heard them talking about on the scanner. And I can just tell you what we see, that they are working in multiple places trying to keep these flames at bay. A lot of these houses, there are some occupied houses on the back side of the street and neighboring streets, and they are very close together. So this is definitely a concern for firefighters as they work on this fire. Again, we heard that there were 3 structures involved. We did see smoke coming from this one here in the front where they are currently inside. And then again, we saw something in the backyard or in the back of this structure that seems to be burned to the ground. But again, we're going to get an update here from the battalion chief, hopefully, to get some official information for you. Reporting live north of downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, thank you so much. And we want to let you know the exact address of that. It's in the 600 block of West Cypress Street. Cross streets are Jackson Street and East Fredericksburg. So just northwest of downtown, sort of?
And east of 10.
Okay, east of 10. Gotcha. All right, Katrina's out there on the scene. We'll keep you updated this morning, 6:22.
We'll be right back.
I was stuck. Unresolved depression symptoms were in my way. I needed more from my antidepressant. Vraylar helped give it a lift.
Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults, report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Stomach and sleep issues, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks.
I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift.
Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
In your morning consumer news, Amazon expanding its palm recognition technology to all Whole Foods locations. Customers can pay for items by holding their hand over a reader. The tech recognizes your unique palm signature, which is linked to your payment card. Critics have raised concerns about the company storing biometric data.
And Google is considering the use of artificial intelligence to write news articles. The company is reportedly in the talks with the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Wall Street Journal. Google says AI tools are meant to help journalists, not put them out of work.
626, 77 degrees.
Still ahead at 6:30, July is Juvenile Arthritis Awareness Month, and we spoke with one teen who's lived with the disease since she was 7 years old, how she's managed her biggest challenges. Plus,
something that is happening in our backyard and something that we all have to work together as a team to put a stop to it.
Right now on GMSA, a new movie called Sound of Freedom is bringing attention to the ugliness of human trafficking, how it's inspiring one San Antonio educator to take action.
Outside with live cam, down to about 77 degrees out at San Antonio International Airport, and we'll take any chance of rain we can get, and there is some in Mike's 7-day forecast.
Good morning at 6:30 on Friday, July 21st. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for waking up with us.
Let's go straight to Mike Ostrage to get a preview of our Friday and our weekend.
Yeah, we are talking about those rain chances still, albeit very, very small. Like you said, we'll take anything we can get as far as that is concerned. Got some clouds around there right now, our usual morning clouds, a little bit more humidity in the morning, and then that will drop down later on this afternoon. We are at 78 officially out here at the airport. 72 is the dew point. So both of those numbers, now, yeah, there's humidity out there, but they're down a degree or so compared to this time yesterday. So slightly easier to take it when you step outside this morning. 75 Bulverde, Helotes, and low to mid 70s in parts of the hill country right now. And yeah, you got a lot of humidity around Canyon Lake, New Braunfels, Randolph, down toward Pleasanton, but elsewhere it's, like I said, a little easier to take, and the heat index readings are not quite as high as what they were at this time yesterday. We do have a low amount of mold. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour or so, and throughout the rest of today, 91 at noon, 102. We had dropped down a degree yesterday to 103, so I think we shave off just 1 degree today. And we still do have some heat advisories that are in effect up until 8 o'clock tonight. We will talk about those, albeit small rain chances. They do exist, and we'll see if we're going to be keeping triple digits around for a while. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen, what's the very latest, sir?
Nothing really happening on the roads at this hour, Mike. In fact, I was just looking at some of the TransGuide cameras. 10 at Brazos saw a little bit of smoke that was fluming in the background, or building in the background. That may be that fire that Katrina Weber is at, but I am talking to our friends over there at TransGuide. We're keeping a close eye. Just make sure you keep your focus out on the roads in both the east and westbound lanes of I-10. Taking you to our map, again, there's no other issues that are being reported at this hour. I've seen a few stalled vehicles. Those have cleared out. A lot of it really now is going to be construction. None of it slowing folks down. If you're heading into San Antonio this early, take a quick look at your travel times, because, again, I'm not seeing anything that's slowing anybody down if your travels take you right into the Alamo City. But again, take your time. If you spot any construction, we have a lot of that. Will ramp up later this morning. 10 at Brazos again. We'll keep a close eye on that spot. But other than that, it's been a quiet morning on the traffic front, guys.
Back to some late breaking news now that we've been following in this hour. A house fire north of downtown.
Yeah, that's near West Poplar Street. Katrina Weber is live on scene. Katrina, was anyone hurt?
No, not as far as we know. I had a chance to speak to some neighbors just a few minutes ago, and they were telling me that all of these houses are officially unoccupied. You can see that there are still some boards. Well, actually, the fire department just took the boards off the windows and doors. They are actively working to put out these flames. Now, the area right in the middle there where you see them putting the water, that's where there was another house. That's the one that caught fire originally, according to neighbors, and then spread to 2 others. But they tell me again that all of these structures in this immediate area were unoccupied. They were boarded up, but they said despite that, they have seen people going in and out. So it's possible that that could have something to do with the fire breaking out this morning. We don't know yet, because the battalion chiefs are busy making sure that their crews are safe, so we haven't had a chance to talk to them. But again, neighbors tell me that this area is frequented by people who tend to go in and out of these vacant structures. They're looking at that as possibly being related to these fires this morning. They say that there was another fire recently in one of these same houses, and they hope that now that perhaps the city will do something to tear down what is left so that they don't have this problem again. The danger, too, is that there are some other houses very close by that are occupied. As far as we know, there hasn't been any damage to them. And again, no word on any injuries at this point. Of course, the fire department is busy right now just trying to make sure that they can put this fire out. Reporting live north of downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, thank you. New this morning, a man is dead after a shooting at Woodspring Suites. That's near I-35 and Eisenhower on the city's northeast side. San Antonio police say a man and his girlfriend were in the parking lot around 3 this morning when they were approached by someone wearing all black. The person who approached them started to bother them and then tried to grab the woman, according to police. The man intervened, and that's when police say the suspect shot the man, killing him. The suspect took off in a black-colored vehicle. At last check, they're still searching for that person.
To an active silver alert. Have you seen this woman? Right now, the alert is still active for 75-year-old Olga Martinez. She's about 5'2", has brown hair and brown eyes. She does have a medical condition. If you know where she is, call San Antonio Police at the number on your screen, 210-207-7660.
Questions remain after a body was found in a duffel bag in the middle of a property near Loop 1604 and Rockport Road. Now, this is the center of a homicide investigation. So far, Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says the remains are not enough to indicate whether it's a man or a woman, how old the person was, or how long those remains have been there.
Looking ahead, mark your calendars and pencil this in for next Wednesday at 6:30. KSAT is airing a new special on fentanyl. It's called Fighting Fentanyl. It's everyone's problem. You'll see how the drug comes in through our borders, what Customs and Border Protection does to stop it, and how the DEA is going after people who sell it. The goal is to help you start the conversation with your kids about fentanyl so you can try to keep them safe. Again, the special is next Wednesday at 6:30 right here on KSAT 12. After it airs, you can watch it on our website, our YouTube channel, and on KSAT Plus.
Happening this morning, testimony is expected to continue in the trial of Tejano star Jesse Farias. He is accused of sexually assaulting an underage girl. A relative who claims Farias touched her repeatedly and inappropriately. You can read more about this trial right now over on KSAT.com.
Advocacy groups calling for better treatment of the 12 migrants who were found inside a tractor trailer Wednesday night. Advocates say they are often dehumanized when it comes to justice and legal rights. As 12 migrants were taken overnight to a U.S. Customs and Border Protection processing center that came hours after officials found all of them crammed into the cab of a big rig.
Part of the discussion that you're hearing right now, regardless of your views, is what exactly does it mean to seek asylum?
We still don't know the identities of the migrants, but we know they came from Honduras, Guatemala, and Mexico. The 53 victims of the Quintana Road tragedy also came from those three countries, and the truck they were discovered in was only a couple of miles away from this scene.
An independent film about human trafficking at the box office, sparking conversation and action in our community. Southwest ISD Superintendent Jeanette Ball invited 160 of her staff to watch the Sound of Freedom film, which is proving to be successful among critics and raking in millions of dollars so far. Ball says she hopes it provokes education about how to protect children in her district from human trafficking. She is already looking at ways to provide additional training for her staff and parents.
Something that is happening in our backyard and something that we all have to work together as a team to put a stop to it.
The Bexar County District Attorney's Human Trafficking Task Force says they handle about 60 to 80 human trafficking cases each year. The majority of them are sex trafficking of teenage girls on social media. Attorney David Lunan strongly urges parents to be vigilant of how their children are acting and the valuable things they are acquiring. Predators target people who are living in difficult economic situations.
Almost all of our cases is a young lady, again in her early teens, that is seduced. Okay? Seduced by offers from social media or in person of, I've got money you can make, I've got drugs you can have, I've got emotional support I can give you.
If you suspect someone is a victim of human trafficking, the local hotline to call for help is 1-844-843-6348. That number on the bottom of your screen right now. Calls are answered 24/7.
I read earlier this week that Sound of Freedom has now made over $100 million worldwide. 6:39, 77 degrees.
July is Juvenile Arthritis Awareness Month, and we spoke with one teen who's lived with the disease since she was 7 years old, how she's managed her biggest challenges. That's just ahead. Well, July is Juvenile Idiopathic Arthritis Awareness Month, and we spoke with one teen who has been living with the disease since she was 7 years old. 17-year-old Chloe Keast tells us she started experiencing symptoms of arthritis when she was just 6 years old. Her mom noticed one day when she was playing soccer that her running was off. Then Chloe woke up one morning with a swollen knee that was twice as large as her other one. Since being diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, Chloe has been on several different medications. She says she's learned to adjust her life despite some big challenges.
One really big thing for me is I need access to the school elevators. Sometimes I need to leave class early or have kind of exceptions for the kind of late bells so I can come to class a little bit later and I won't be counted tardy. And also my teachers just kind of need to generally know that when it comes to physical activity, I sometimes can't always go as full out as my other classmates.
Chloe also tells us she's been able to manage her arthritis with the help of her family, doctors, and friends that she's made through the Arthritis Foundation. If you are concerned your child might be suffering from this and are in need of resources, we have that link for you at ksat.com.
Been a little while since we've talked to Stephen Cavazos.
Hey guys, well, I'm happy to report that here at Tenet Brazos, things look fine east and westbound lanes. Earlier, I saw what looked like there was some smoke that was building up out there. I know Katrina Weber's not too far reporting where that fire is taking place. We are going to watch that area closely, but you can really see now things look clear, both the east and westbound lanes, and a little bit further down the road. I'm not spotting any of that smoke, so that could be good news. But we take you to our map, and it's been pretty quiet throughout the morning. I do have to take you in, though, right to 410 eastbound. We do have at least one crash that just came in, reported by TxDOT. Right there at Fredericksburg Road. I'm not spotting a buildup just yet, but if you know this road if you travel through this road, I should say, you know that we tend to see a lot of that buildup in the eastbound lanes around 7 a.m. So let's hope that that crash will clear soon. Quick reminder, we also have the sod placement taking place later this morning along I-10 in Kendall County. This should wrap on Friday, July 21st. It all begins at 9 this morning and should wrap at 3 in the afternoon. Single lane closures along the frontage road in both directions. State Highway 46 to Scenic Loop, but head over to ksat.com/traffic. We have a full list of closures on our website. But back here at Tenet Brazos, earlier I stepped out of the studio because I saw some of the smoke that was building up out there. But now, as you can see from these TransGuide cameras, I'm not spotting anything out there at this time, but it could just be because the shot's a little bright, so hard to make out.
Yes, sir. It's a pretty significant fire. And again, Katrina Weber's out there at the scene tracking that for all of us. Stephen, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right, I don't know if this is a bad omen or not.
Oh.
When the buzzard is roosting on the bird bath.
I think maybe just trying to keep cool.
Well, trying to get a drink, yeah, but...
He's just, on his bar stool at the bar.
But I see what you're saying.
Yes,
bar stool.
Yeah, it is a little ominous.
Yeah, just a bit. Thank you for the KSAT Connect picture, I think. We got some clouds hanging around here right now, and temperatures are on the mild side. We are, about 3 degrees above normal right now. Should be in the mid-70s. We're in the upper 70s, and obviously we have the morning clouds. Then we're going to see a lot more sunshine. Pretty much the same scenario, almost the exact same temperature profile as yesterday. 91 at noon, although yesterday we hit 103. I'm going for 102 today, down maybe another degree like was the case yesterday. Here's the satellite and radar loop, and obviously not much is showing up. These low clouds aren't showing up as of yet, but you got to look just up to the north of us, and you see this kind of a little low, that little counterclockwise circulation scooching off, moving straight to the east. So obviously that's not going to have any direct impact on us, but some of the energy up here is going to be thrown down in our direction as the high works its way off to the west, that clockwise rotation around it, and that puts us into this northwesterly flow. So again, it takes some of that energy, throws it on in here. That's why we have that small chance for a couple of showers around here. Tomorrow, dinner time, early evening hours, and then also on Sunday, as the door kind of opens up a little bit going into or from the Gulf of Mexico. I want to jump ahead, though, but you look at the middle part of next week, that high starts to sort of work its way back in our direction, which means we're just going to start to heat up a little bit more. But then going ahead to the weekend, and there's a little bit of a wave wanting to maybe develop here in the Gulf of Mexico, and this would move on in. So if that is the case and that high would kind of get out of the way, that could give us a chance for some rain maybe even by next weekend. Back to this weekend, though. Here's the that little northwesterly flow and those couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm popping up here and there. Again, don't get really excited about rain chances, but at least they do exist for tomorrow afternoon and then again on Sunday, albeit very small, 10, 20% at best. 102 today, tomorrow, 101 on Sunday, but it's back to the 103s by the first part of next week. And again, hopefully there's a little pattern change again by the end of next week.
We hope.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you, Mike. Right now, 6:48, 77 degrees on your Friday.
Hey, guys, how many friends do you have?
2, 3, 4 right here in the studio.
Yeah, maybe count them on my hand. Well, it seems that many of us have plenty, but studies show over 30% of people suffer from loneliness. How you can create, stop laughing at me, Mark, how you can create lasting bonds with friends. Like Mark and I.
Mike is
tomorrow on
insinuating.
GMSA.
Mike has insinuated that I miscounted my friends.
Aw, best friends.
Outside with live cam right now, looking at the airport. Yep, that's the airport. We'll be right back.
A scary start to the day for people in this neighborhood just north of downtown. A fire has affected 3 vacant homes here and threatened several others. Take a look at the firefighters working here in the 800 block of West Poplar. We're not far from I-35 and San Pedro Avenue. This is where they are pouring water. This area right here is where there was one home. That is where the fire started, and it apparently started spreading to a couple of others. Now, all of these appear to be boarded up. Neighbors tell me they were all vacant, but they have seen people going in and out of them from time to time. And they say that there was another fire here just recently. So they hope that something will happen in terms of shutting these down so that no one can get inside. We don't know yet whether that was the cause of the fire this morning, but just a little while ago we saw police leading a man off, actually running after a man and putting him into handcuffs. He was back in the area behind some of these homes. They told me that he was trying to get into the scene, and that's why they stopped him. But there is an active investigation going on regarding these fires, which again affected 3 vacant homes and actually threatened others or put others possibly in jeopardy because they're all very close here, and there are some other homes that are occupied, but as far as we know, no one injured and none of those homes were affected. Reporting live north of downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, thank you. Summer heat has been intense for all of us, but it can also take a toll on our phones and other devices.
Coming up at GMSA at 9, RJ Marquez is going to be speaking with the general manager of AT&T to get some tips on how to protect our phones from overheating and what to do if it does.
Plus, Sarah Spivey takes us to the San Antonio Zoo to show us the different way families can stay cool out there. That's all coming up on GMSA at 9. Well, we have some very good news about our phone bank yesterday. Our KSAT community partners were raising money for Project Men, and we're happy to report we raised a total of $47,000.
Way to go, everyone. We had about $2,350 donated by viewers calling in, and the rest of the money donated was from Harvey Najim and the Charitable Foundation CEO, Melissa Bowman. So thank you so much to everyone who called in and donated.
Now, this is all leading up to Project Men's annual citywide donation drive this weekend. You can drop off any type of medical equipment at the Wonderland of the Americas Mall. That's tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, check out ksatcommunity.com. Project Men is the oldest and largest licensed nonprofit organization that accepts and repurposes medical equipment.
Right now on KSAT.com, many restaurants in San Antonio are Barbie ready just in time for the movie's opening weekend. La Panderia Bakery Cafe is offering pink conchas for the entire month of July in honor of Barbie. And today, Voodoo Donut is going all out with a pink donut. Even Bill Miller is on the Barbie bandwagon. The restaurant took to social media on Thursday saying, "I'm a Barbie Q girl," with an image of a pink restaurant sign. Very cute, guys.
And you've got your tickets for tomorrow?
I'm thinking about going Sunday or Monday.
Sunday, got it. Yeah. Okay, got it. Right now it is 6:55 on your Friday. Let's get a traffic update. Stephen.
37 at Hackberry. Things have been moving along just fine. We did have some issues earlier during the morning show. Our latest here, 410 eastbound at Fredericksburg Road. I'm not spotting delays, but I'll keep a close eye on that. Overall view of the map shows if you're heading out the door in the next few moments, be on the lookout for that stall along US 90 at 151. And one last look at our travel times. No delays here. Take your time. We have a lot of construction that is expected to ramp up later this morning.
Morning clouds hanging around here on the warm, humid side. We're down to 77 right now in town, just 2 degrees above normal. We are going to make it up to 102 later on today, and there's that small chance, by the way, heat advisory is till 8, and a small chance for a couple of showers over the weekend. We have a Barbie theme show on SA Live today, too.
And you are going to dress up like Ken.
He's just Ken.
He's just Ken. Or as Mike calls it, Friday.
Happy Friday. Hey, GMA is next. We'll be back for GMSA at 9. Go, Ken.